get started. I'll just share right now my screen. You guys see that all right? The studio lighting workshop? Okay, awesome. Yeah, so this is for studio lighting. So the first thing that we could go over first is, just general safety stuff. This is stuff that you're probably going to learn also in like the safety courses. If you're going on a show, you have to take that stuff. So a lot of this might be review, but it's still good to go over. So, always loosen lights before, if you're going to adjust the light, always make sure to have it nice and loosened. So that helps that, like, if you're like forcing it to move, that's going to kind of mess with the screws and it's going to kind of damage the lights over time. So it's really good to make sure that they are loosened before like turning them if at a certain angle when doing lighting. Always have safety cables on lights. So yeah, these are stuff that are, dangling over people's heads. So it's very important to keep, be as safe as possible with them and make sure that there's a lot of precautions with them and, making sure like if you're moving lights around and stuff like that, never forget to like put the safety cable over them and make sure that's attached to the grid. Yeah, make sure that, so if it falls, if like it gets loose or anything like that, so then nobody can get hurt or anything like that, Always keep a hand on the light if there's no safety cable attached. So yeah, that's usually when you're putting a light on. I always try and make sure that I have one hand always on the light when like you're attaching the light to the grid. So that makes sure that like, if it's not in the right spot, it's not just gonna fall down, you get some protection over it. Yeah, and then a lot of this is like lift safety. So making sure to, like when you're rising, make sure that with the lift, some of the lifts can go faster than the others when rising. So it's good to know, survey your area to make sure that there's no lights in the way or anything like that. You want to make sure that you're not going to damage anything. And also when you're going down, to make sure that you're not going to like hit anybody, like make sure there's a good amount of space between you and other people when going down particularly. I think the orange one is really fast when going down. So yeah, that's really important to know. Also wear a helmet. It really depends, like for you being in the lift, it's not as important as it is for somebody below you, because, if you drop something, that's gonna like, and if it hits them, that could be dangerous. So it's always good to have people like below you have some space from you, or to have a helmet on. And that's kind of just like the basics for safety. Yeah, like the safety course kind of goes over most of this stuff. Let's go into like the lights themselves. So these are kind of some of the lights that you're going to see in the wild when in studio. So Area 48s, they're the ones that, yeah, I usually use them for more like key, but they can be like, they can be very harsh. Yeah, they have, they're lights that I'm going to show you guys, like, I might skip around a little bit here. So like I have a lighting plot and there's numbers. I don't know if you guys can see really well, but there's like numbers on the lighting plot, and it shows kind of where each of the outlets are that you plug the lights in. Now, certain lights won't actually use these, like the Area 48s. So when you're at like the lighting panel to turn on these lights, they're gonna have like the numbers up at the top. So that's how you're gonna turn those lights on. But yeah, they're really good for, like something like a big room show. It really gives a lot of, yeah, it gives a lot of light there. Aries, so Aries come in a bunch of different sizes. So there's the 650 ones that are like the smallest ones, and those are going to be kind of like your backlights. That's what I usually use them for. So yeah, just like behind the talent, those are really good at giving a good shine on their heads. And also with the barn doors, you could really focus them in and you can adjust them. Source 4s are more like a spotlight kind of. You can also get these things that you put inside them, and it kind of gives like, it depending on the show, some of them have their own type of things, but they like add like, it's hard to explain. They're kind of like these little cylinder things that you put in, and it puts like different designs on there. So like, I believe Evening News had one of these, or one of the shows, I believe it was like The Dish or something like that, where they had their own custom made one, and it just said The Dish, and you put that against the wall, and it just says like The Dish. It's really cool stuff. Then there's Kinos. So Kinos are kind of more of a key. Yeah, so they're like really big. You're probably not going to be moving them around really. There is some that you have on the floor that you could use, but usually I like to use like the big ones up on the grid. And again, like the area 48s, they're not plugged into like the outlets. So they're written on like near the lighting panel. Also like the color blasts are there too, which are like mostly used for like wall backgrounds, like to give like color to the walls. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, if I'm going like too fast or anything like that. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say about REs. So also like the bigger ones, like the 1Ks and the 2Ks, those can be used for more key. Oh, I'm sorry, I said for the Kinos. The Kinos are fill. I'm sorry. I think I thought Kino and key, like because it sounds so similar, but those are for fill because like they're just so big, like they just shine a lot of light on you, or like they shine a lot of light like outward, where REs can be more focused. So those are more key. Yeah, and I usually use those. Yeah, like they're very good at getting a good shine on the face and stuff like that. They're very accurate. So this is like what a lighting plot would look like. And you can see like I use some of the lights we've been talking about. Sorry for like the bad artistry going on here. If you're good at like Photoshop, I know some people who use Photoshop to like put the symbols in. It really depends on you. Like I could actually put in the chat after like a little, it's like a JPEG of what the like a lighting plot looks like. It's a little bit different from this one. It's a lot more colorful, and you can kind of see the numbers a little better. So I might put that in the chat after. But yeah, so I try and put like X's for like the talents and stuff like that. Now with COVID, you're not going to have as much talent as like this. Like usually it's just like 2 or 1 person like around here. Yeah, but and I try and use like show where like the angles of them are going to go. And sometimes it's kind of looks a little messy, but as long as you kind of know where you're going to put your lights, you know, I kind of just mostly improvise when I'm doing lighting personally. It's kind of just like a, you know, you can be as creative as you want with it. But yeah, like, and also this year, especially like I've been told to use like the tag lights a lot more, where it's like, so there's certain lights that you can't really, or you shouldn't move, that are kind of supposed to stay in one place. And they'll have like tags on them and like just saying don't adjust or don't move. You can adjust them. You just can't move them. And sometimes that's useful. Like if you want to light in that certain spot, you could just use that tag light. And it kind of saves some time and stuff like that. And also it's a lot better, like, you know, if you're going to go into the studio before the show, you could set up your lighting plot that way. Like that's what I did for the shows I'm on, where, you know, you just go into the studio and I kind of just like wrote down some of the, like the ones that were already tagged. And you could get very specific for where they are. Like this one wasn't done doing that, but like, you know, you could do, like this one is actually pretty accurate to where the tagged ones are, where it's like right by where it says like 68 or 60, 66. That's what that is. Yeah. So it's like right by there. So it just helps you be more accurate, and it makes your like it makes it a lot easier when you're actually they're doing the lights. Yeah, and yeah, I said like the numbers are like the sockets. So yeah, it really depends too. Like I know sometimes when I'm doing lights, like, maybe there's not really any sockets that are available near one. You could always kind of use one that, like, from a light that's not being used. Like, yeah, if there's any not being used. You could also use extension cords to get to, like, say, like, this light needs a socket to plug into, but the nearest one is like over here at like 61 or something like that. Then you could use like an extension cord to kind of get it plugged in that way. Just as long as it's like neat and not like falling down, you want to, that's also like a thing with safety, like just making sure that everything's kind of neatly organized up there and you're going to get it after. Yeah. So communication is pretty key with lighting too, where, lighting's going to be like the first thing that's going to be set up, along with like setting up like the set itself. Like if it really depends on the set, like if they're building walls, or I mean, if they're setting up walls and stuff like that, or if they have floors they have to put in, stuff like that. So it's really important to like communicate with like the directors or the EPs on where like certain people are going to be, because I know sometimes like the layouts don't really, or the layouts sometimes just don't give like as much as you need on like where they're going to be and stuff like that. Or if they have specific things they want to do, like with the source 4, like the thing you could put in to give like a certain design, stuff like that. It's always good to kind of communicate with them and make sure like everybody's on the same page, and it just makes like everything come out so much better. Yeah, and let's see. Yeah, so, and also making sure, let people know when to progress with like building parts of the set is really important too, just like to keep, like make sure everybody's on time and stuff like that. You don't want to just be like, I don't know, like I always try and do like backlights first so that, they could start putting floors down and walls. And then I start doing lights that are farther away so that, everybody's kind of working like, or has like the most amount of time they really need, Yeah, so let people know when to build the sets, and ask the director if, yeah, it's always good to ask, like, especially like once the show's done or something like that, ask if they have any notes or anything like that on your lighting. It's always great to have feedback. Yeah, and also like, once the cameras are out, that's really when you're gonna see like how your lighting is looking. Yeah, and actually I think that brings us right into our next part. Yeah, so this is all about the lighting panel and stuff like that. So once you're kind of done, like I think the first step is mostly just like trying to find the lights that you need, right? And like adjusting them accordingly so that they're facing the talent and stuff like that. And then the next step is kind of making sure they're at the right intensity. So, you want to, again, like with the lighting plot, this is where that's going to really make your life easier, where, if you know where the lights are plugged into already, or like the lights you were going to use, then you're already kind of ahead where once you enter the numbers and stuff like that. So, yeah, so it's kind of tricky to show off what like how to use like the lighting panel, but like they're buttons that like, so, you just enter the number basically of the outlets that you're going to use that are going to turn on lights. So that's like what the number sign is here, is like the number of the light. And then it's not like the like on a keyboard where it's like, like the swirly @ thing. It's like, it actually says @ on there, which I don't know, it confused me when I was first using it, because I thought like, because somebody told me like set number 2 at like full, and I was like, where's the @ button? I was looking for like the actual @ symbol, but yeah, it's like AT dot. And then there's like a full button, and that turns it on to full power. So, and then there's also an @ out button that's going to turn it off. So it's combining all these keys, like, and you'll also see it in the chat of like, or in the channel, it'll read you a little thing of what's going on the lighting panel itself, or like on the screen above the lighting panel. Like it'll say like channel 124, if that's like the light outlet you're at. and it'll say at like full or something like that. And then you could also, like it gives you a layout of all like the lights kind of where they are on the panel as well above that. And it shows like kind of what intensity they're at. So, and that's what's right here is like the light intensity. So like you could choose from 0 to 100 on how intense you want them. Like keys, you're gonna want pretty intense, like around 80 to like 90-ish. And then fills, like a little bit less, like 70-ish, and like, and backlight, I put even less as like 50-ish. It really depends though. Like honestly, like I'm saying that, but like really it just, you just really adjust it kind of when you're doing it. Like just, it's really what you think is right kind of when you're doing it. Yeah. So that's how you like change the intensity and stuff like that. There's also, I don't put it here, but like for the color blasts, there's even another tab that you can go to called like the color picker. And it's like a fun little thing where you get like a whole color section and you can choose what colors you want. It's really nice. It's really cool, especially for like, I know like news shows really like that, like in the background with the walls. It adds a lot to them. And yeah, it's really cool. For other lights, you're not really going to add much color to them. If you're going to use like, it really depends on what show you're going to do. Like if you're going to do like a music video type thing, yeah, you're probably going to use a lot of colors on a lot of lights. So that's when you like go into like the office and like ask for like gels. Like it all depends on like what lights you're using. So like if you're using the REs, then ask for like the RE gels and stuff like that. And then you just clamp them onto the lights. Like usually like for the REs, you put them on like the barn doors and stuff like that. Just like anywhere they would, it's kind of difficult to show just virtually, but like, anywhere like on the, it's easy to clip like the gels. They're like these flat things. You guys probably know what gels look like, right? Yeah. But you use like a little clip thing to put them on, and then yeah, it changes like the color of them, and that can be very useful. Like I said, for like music videos, yeah, different stuff like that. It can also be used to like kind of dilute, or there's like more diluting ones to make them feel a little bit or look a bit softer if you like that. It really depends. Like you could really change it up quite a bit. Yeah. And so yeah, that's about lighting intensity. Yeah, so just remember like with this stuff, it's like all about taking your time. You don't want to go too fast, especially with safety. You want to just make sure that you have enough time to like kind of learn and stuff like that. You don't want to take it too fast. I mean, you obviously want to be like efficient, but like, just make sure you're being safe about it. Get creative about it. It's like, I think that's always good to like kind of experiment with the different lights, like that you're not comfortable with. Like, I feel like I try and do that a lot. Like using like, I haven't really used the Kinos like on the floor that much. So that's something that I might try out soon or something like that. I don't know. It's just like, ask, Zach and Tony at the office, or anybody at the office really, like just like ask them questions and stuff about this, when you're doing like a show, and you could learn a lot about it and just like, make your lighting stand out and, have fun. Like it's just, I assume that you're doing it because you like to do lighting and stuff like that. So yeah, have fun with it. Don't get too worried about it. And yeah, that's basically it. Do you guys have any questions on anything? Like, I know I was kind of going a little fast on certain areas. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, yeah, I'd love to hear them. Stop share. There we go. Oh yeah, and I'll put like a file in for you guys. Yeah, here's the lighting plot I'm putting in right now, if you guys want that. I think it's in a JPEG, but I know you can put it like as a PDF, I think too. Yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, you guys have any questions on anything? No? Okay. All right. Yeah, I think that's it then. Just as long as you guys sign the attendance sheet, then that's about it. Yeah. Thank you guys for showing up.
Thank you.
Thank you.